Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be the first of just a best of one here. This is from the G Cup, Gera Cup, might be the Gera Cup, might just be the G Cup, Golden Cup. I don't exactly remember. It's the same one as the one I've casted last, and yeah, that was like almost a week ago, so I don't exactly remember. Either way, there's going to be a Night Elf mirror here. I intentionally looked for a best of one because I'm going to try and search for a better replay for tomorrow. I will try and cast between 2 days. So yeah, there we go. Blue Night Elf player here under the name of LeeYongDae. It is a Korean name, I believe, so yeah. Not one of the regulars here on this channel. It's actually the first time, and I don't believe has been in any major tournaments aside from this one. I could be wrong, but yeah, he will be facing off against Foggy, the red Night Elf player here. Pretty sure Foggy is European, and he is recently participating in a lot of tournaments. I'm not sure if he's actually in the WCA. I don't think so. Speaking of which, I did watch, I believe, a game between LeeYongDae and Infi, and of course Infi is looking very strong once again. Don't know if he will take this WCA again or not, but we shall see. So far so standard for both players. I have watched a game from LeeYongDae, and he has pretty much been playing standard, so expect nothing other than that most likely from him. Foggy, on the other hand, pretty much the same story. Of course there are occasions where he will break the mold here and there, but for the most part he is a pretty standard, if not consistent player, utilizing the lightning shield to great effect, taking out the renegade wizard, and hopefully soon the rest of those creeps. Ring of Regeneration will be picked up for the Demon Hunter. Probably not too useful on the Demon Hunter particularly, but then again, it's a good item nonetheless. Demon Hunter mirror, and it seems like it is going to be a Ring of Regeneration mirror as well, so we shall see, you know, who breaks the first, I guess, mirroring here. It does seem like Foggy is going to go for an early green creep camp, and meanwhile LeeYongDae is just chasing that wisp, and I did forget to plug in the other mouse, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that as the Demon Hunter picks up the wisp for himself. Foggy is going to take out this Ogre Magi camp as I find the USB plug for this mouse. You will hear the system sounds there. Okay, let's switch over. Okay, there we go. Foggy will pick up the Circlet of Nobility from the Ogre Magi. Meanwhile, LeeYongDae also going for the Magi here. He will pick up the Ring of Protection +2, not as great as the Circlet, so it'll probably get sold later on. Troll Shadow Priest gets picked up from our Blue Night Elf player, as well as Foggy, our red. LeeYongDae also picks up a Troll Berserker on the right side, so managing to snatch away a Berserker for himself. Hopefully he will not lose that to Foggy, as that would be bad. Early tier 2s from both players. I assume it is just going to be the double Ancient of Lore massacres from both sides, I guess. We will have to wait and see, as the timings for the Hunter's Hall has yet to arrive, and it seems like LeeYongDae did lose himself that Troll Berserker. Probably not the wisest of decisions. He could have definitely ran his Berserker all the way to his base, but instead he kind of risked it a little bit and maybe attempted some harassment instead. Ring gonna get sold for a Dust of Appearance, and might actually start this Ogre Mauler camp. Maybe go after these trolls instead. I guess not, as Foggy does appear right at the base of LeeYongDae, and the wisps are in danger, but of course they can just switch themselves with the wisps in the gold mine. I don't spot a hunter's hole, so that might indicate something else. I mean, there is no Ancient of War number 2, so I doubt we are going to have any huntresses either. Seems like Foggy already completing himself his hunter's hole, and LeeYongDae will just stick to tier 2 without any actual tech. So he might go for double Ancient of Wind. Not sure how great that is in a Night Elf matchup. I haven't seen... Oh, never mind. I was completely incorrect. The hunter's hole is already completed, so yeah, my mistake. It was in such a weird location, and I didn't actually see it on the minimap, sadly. Oh yikes, Nagasiwish being picked up here for our blue Night Elf, and we'll lay down a lot of smackdown on the Demon Hunter of Foggy. Of course, since he is out of mana, mana burn doesn't really deal that much damage. And it seems like Foggy is going to try and take out the Shadow Priest over at LeeYongDae's side, and manages to take it out. But he did take quite a bit of a beating. Thankfully the Ring of Regeneration is there for that purpose. Nagasiwish will pick up these scraps. Meanwhile the Demon Hunter will chase down the very low hit point Demon Hunter there. Double Ancient of Law for LeeYongDae, also going to tier 3. Meanwhile Foggy, double Ancient of Law, not quite tier 3 just yet. The difference is that he did get his second Ancient of Law a lot earlier, so he can start massing up those initial Dryads, maybe, if only he had enough gold. He will have the second base advantage. Meanwhile our Blue Night Elf player did not actually go for an expand attempt, so that's not going to look too good for him in the late game, as he won't be able to catch up with Foggy's economy. And it seems like Foggy will pick up a couple of Huntresses and a Goblin Tinkerer. So the Huntresses are there to, I guess, act as a solid army foundation while you're training your units from the Ancient of Law, but yeah, it didn't look like they were too useful, in fact. But the Goblin Tinker as a second hero will be pretty interesting. The Tome of Experience gets dropped there. Tinker getting that early level 2, so that's going to be pretty nice for him. Not sure if he's going to pick up any second abilities, as Tinkers do need their valuable mana for their pocket factories. And the Tinker is just going to be focusing on farming. Obviously the pocket factory can create those clockwork gnomes to act as sort of little tanks there. Meanwhile LeeYongDae will spot this. He will spot the pocket factory, and well, he's going to try and disrupt it, going right after that Dryad, who would probably get taken down, but I think she was picked up by the Troll Berserker of the Creep Camp. Meanwhile LeeYongDae will pick up the replenishment potion, I believe, from this Ogumola camp, so at least he will get something out of this. Nagasiwish does have the greater mana potion, so she can pretty much toss out all the frost arrows that she needs. Try to be careful not to get mana burned by Foggy's Demon Hunter though. Another pocket factory gets placed down by the Tinker of Foggy, and those clockwork gnomes should start dealing some damage. It seems that Demon Hunter is going to go after the Nagasiwish of LeeYongDae. Meanwhile, his Demon Hunter is getting chased by the other units. Dread of Claw is out in the field and will rejuvenate the Demon Hunter. Now he will go right after the Tinker, as Tinker can't really deal with a rejuvenating Demon Hunter. Meanwhile, it seems like a second bear went to rejuvenate the Nagasiwish there. So we have bears already out for our blue Night Elf player. Meanwhile, tier 3 hasn't actually started for Foggy, and he could be at risk here of trying to fend off against these bears. The bears not that well dealt with only Dryads, and of course like level 1 pocket factory. That's gonna be quite a struggle for Foggy, as His expand is taking quite a bit of a hit. Nagasiwich is getting focused down by all of those dryads. Constant stacking of the slow poison there will force a TP scroll for her. That will pull back all those blue units there. Army supply of 43 versus Foggy's 50. So a full army supply of dryads will do their best. I'm not sure if they're gonna really handle themselves well against those bears. Definitely it was a lucky break that was able to force LeeYongDae to go for the retreat, but yeah, he needs to get tier 3 very, very quickly. I believe he's waiting on lumber, but this is kind of a vulnerable window for Foggy. I mean, look at his entangled gold mine. It took quite a beating from just a couple of bears smacking it away. And we're gonna have another attack coming in for our blue Night Elf player. No TP scroll, that might be a bit of a risk there. His heroes can get sniped a lot easier, and that could spill an unfortunate defeat for him. So we'll just have to wait and see how well he handles this. Foggy will spot himself a stray Ancient of War. Will get picked off. Not sure if LeeYongDae will react to that. He is just going to go continuing to clear out this gargantuan sea turtle camp. I don't think this turtle camp actually drops anything significant, so he is going to lose himself an Ancient of War for just a little bit of experience. A second Ring of Regen will be picked up there, and thankfully they stack, so at least he gets something valuable. Nagasiwich also hits level 3. LeeYongDae tried for an expansion, but it will be picked off immediately by Foggy. Will he go for the cancel? He will. And surprisingly, instead of going for the counterattack, he is just going to spend a lot more time I don't know. He will sell the second ring and pick up the Boots of Speed instead. Is going to focus the Tree of Life. I was actually surprised. Could have maybe gotten that Entangled Gold Mine, but he is going to choose to force the recall from Foggy, who is going to stick to Dryads apparently. TP scroll is going to be used by the Demon Hunter. Oh, I guess he was the one that picked up the TP scroll. I guess he already had the boots. Yeah, that would actually make sense. Yeah, this is surprisingly working out for Foggy. He is going to start tier 3. I am surprised that LeeYongDae has not actually finished this game off. He is... I mean, I would say he was ahead with all those bears and like the mismatch compositionally, but 56 versus around 70. That, despite the compositions not being that great, like there's a ton of dryads for Foggy here. He also has a couple of mercenaries for himself. His huntresses are still alive. Pocket Factory level 2 is placed down right in front of LeeYongDae's base, and well, he is gonna try and deal with that. Nagasiwich going for that level 1 Forked Lightning, I believe. It's just not enough damage, and of course Forked Lightning only hits like 3 units. It's just not enough. Demon Hunter versus Demon Hunter, he is going to retreat despite having the level advantage over him. He just can't afford to waste time going for a 1v1. He needs to save his base. The Dryads are constantly abolishing that roar from those spears, so probably not the best usage of roar there for LeeYongDae. Lightning Shield will be cast on Foggy's Demon Hunter to repel LeeYongDae's own Demon Hunter, and the bears are slowly dying. But apparently a lot more dryads are definitely a lot better than just a handful of bears, and it seems like the Demon Hunter is very low. Moonwells have been dried up for our Blue Night Elf, and well, the Pocket Factory is getting its full value of spawning those Clockwork Gnomes. Tinkerer I guess he proved himself very useful. The Clockwork Gnomes, of course, deceivingly hurtful, and that will be a very lucky win for Foggy. Honestly, he could have definitely been defeated if LeeYongDae chose to attack maybe earlier, maybe, you know, sacrifice the Naga Sea Witch for a victory, but that will be that. That will be this best of one here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will try and get another series out tomorrow.